So welcome back to another Mordian Glory Battle Report, and today guys we have the Imperial Guard, shock and surprise, taking on another army, and I was taking on Scholar's Blood Angel. It's going to be a classic Mordian Glory Guard versus Scholar Progenium Blood Angel battle, and we're not pulling any punches today. We are going to be going with some pretty spicy lists. And you know what? Let's go over those right now. Oh, as it is my channel, I will do my army first. Is that all right, Jonathan? Can I? Is that etiquette allowed?
Just do what you like.
So we'll start off with the Imperial Guard. So I have got a brigade today. It will be a Cadian brigade. And I will be spending 4 CP before the game starts, which means I'm going to start with 2. So that's the detachment, that's the CP, and that is the regiment. Now let's take a look at the units that I'm actually taking today. So as is tradition, we shall start with the infantry corps, and we have 12 squads of infantry. Each one of these brave souls, each one of these squads is going to be armed with a plasma gun on a special weapon gunner, a Vox caster, and the sergeant will have a plasma pistol and power sword. There will be 9 squads with heavy bolter, heavy weapon teams, and 3 of them will have las cannons. We then have some support infantry, 3 heavy weapon squads with 3 mortars each. Love the old Cadian mortar pit. And then we've got 3 command squads, each one with a banner, a Vox caster, a medic, and then just a spare guy with a las gun. In the officer corps today, we'll have 2 platoon commanders, each one with chainsaws and a bolt pistol, and we'll have Lord Commander Signwolf leading the brigade today. In terms of heavy support and firepower, we've got 3 tank commanders. 2 of them have got demolisher cannons, and 1 of them has got a battle cannon, which I have upgraded to Gatekeeper. The 2 demolisher guys will have hull heavy flamers, and Gatekeeper will have a heavy bolter and a heavy stubber. And I have upgraded the Gatekeeper to also be a weapon expert. That is one of my tank aces today. We've then got a Basilisk, and that will have full payload and a hull heavy flamer. That full payload meaning it's flat damage 3. And then filling up the brigade fast attack slots, we've got 3 scout sentinels with las cannons. Now last but certainly not least, we have a little mortal wound bomb here today. So we've got a Primaris Psyker, that is the one with the las pistol there, and he will know Psychic Maelstrom, Smite and Psychic Barrier. And then we've also got a Ordo Malleus Inquisitor who's been upgraded with Arbiter of the Emperor's Will, which means he can do 2 psychic powers a turn, and he is going to know Smite, Castigation and Warding Incantation. And to support them, we have got a little squad of 3 Word Vein Psykers, 2 Psykers and their Minder. He's going to make sure that those guys don't start speaking in tongues, and if they do, they're probably not going to be around much longer. And those guys are literally there. I don't even care what psychic powers they've got, they're never going to cast them. All they are there to do is so that I can spend stratagem to give my Primaris Psyker a little +2 to cast.
I love that scene in Astartes, you know, where the Inquisitors pray, and he like sees chaos, and the Space Marine just like punch his face in the back of his skull
and then shoot him. Yeah, awesome. So that is what we've gone for today. Now normally I would be taking a second full payload Basilisk, but I thought I'd trade that Basilisk out, get rid of a couple of little things that I had, just as like sort of fluff upgrades, and then get the little psychic bomb. That little psychic bomb there is only 134 points, and it can put out about 5 to 6 mortal wounds a turn, which is pretty good. So overall, that is the Guard army, lots of infantry, decent amount of armed support, and some psychic shenanigans. And now let's take a look at the Blood Angels. So here we have the Blood Angels today, led by none other than Scholar Progenium. He will be being supported by his dog, Brother Sergeant Biscuit, who's got some cute little red power armour on. Yes, you do. All right, Johnny. Had to be done. So, do you want to take us through your list today?
Right, okay, so we'll start with the HQs. Now, I tried, valued viewers, I really did not to bring Baron Harkonnen today. However, due to points changes, this, that and the other, as I've been painting the list, he's back. He was a chaplain, but also because I found myself, because I'm buffing the Sanguinary Guard, and they have heirs of Azkaban, which means that they have +1 to hit if they're near the Warlord. Found that a chaplain, you're doing a 3-up roll, you're gambling to get reroll all misses, but because they're hitting on 2s anyway a lot of the time, reroll all misses is actually just what a captain brings. So here we are, Baron Harkonnen's back in the lead.
That's just mathematics, that's just science.
That's just the way it goes.
That's just science, the science checks out.
So then I've got a Sanguinary Priest, he's got a jetpack, I believe that's it. Then I've got a lieutenant, just bare bones.
Cool.
Then moving on, we have troops now. I've gone for a battalion and I've been running pure elite, whatever they're called, Vanguard detachments for time. But I've decided, because of the CP changes, we've got some tactical troops in there. You know, I figured to myself, I can have intercessors for 100 points, or I can have the same number of tactical marines for 100 points, but they get a plasma. And I just thought, I'll take the plasma.
Yeah, look, this is a firstborn list, nearest damn it.
In some ways.
So it's just cool. It's just cool to, and you know, tactical marines are still good.
It's kind of like turned out that way. You know, there was intercept. You know,
tactical marines are still absolutely fine.
They're fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can hold objectives. They've got armor of contempt. They're fine.
Yeah.
Then we will move on to the elites. So I've got 4 sword brethren. They are what they are. You know them. You love them. Then I have the meat of the army, which is 9 death company, power sword and thunder hammer. Bit of a janky options choice, about a few points left over when points changes came in. So that might change. Then what won't be changing is 2 squads of 9 sanguinary guard. They've got 3 carmine axes in each.
Nice.
These guys, you know, I've played with Blood Angels a couple of times recently, and they are making a mess of things. They are really good with that armor of contempt. Really, really good.
I mean, I've been saying it for a long time on my channel. If you get a super save and armor of contempt, just keep taking those units.
So these are essentially that, because they've got power shields, so that's up save armor.
So you can't, just so you know, you can't have armor contempt can't be stacked. It can't be stacked. That's okay. We've caught that before.
No,
it's got to the important decision.
They're turret save or their armor of contempt. So
yeah.
So yeah, really nasty. And then to round out the list, we have a bit of fire support. The lieutenant will be rocking with these guys. That's why he's there. And we've got 2 units of eradicators with melter rifles, I believe they're called, just the normal ones. And then we've got a Redemptor Dreadnought with all the toys.
Nice.
All the guns you can possibly take. Storm bolters, missiles, plasma, Gatling cannon. I think that's all.
Nice. Well, pretty good list. It's a nice solid amount of jump pack infantry. You've got some troops that can hold some objectives. And then you've got some fire support. I mean, it's just a nice, well-rounded list. And Blood Angels have been doing very well on the tournament scene recently. I personally think this is a really strong list that Johnny's put together.
This list is untested. This will be the first time we're playing this list.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Fair enough. All right, but those are the 2 armies. We'll be back in a moment once we've set the board out and we've rolled for the mission. So here we have the field of battle for today. We are playing Abandoned Sanctuaries. That's where there are 5 objectives, 3 in the middle and 1 in each player's deployment zone. The Imperial Guard have deployed in a solid line across their deployment zone. The right flank being held by a platoon of infantry and the sentinels. The centre being held by the Demolisher Cannon and the Psychic Fortress, with a couple of platoons of infantry leading into the left flank where we also have the artillery. Moving round to the Blood Angels, we've got the Forlorn Fury of the Death Company on this flank, supported by a squad of Tactical Marines. A big block, look at that, the Sanguinary Guard glistening in golden light, the Angels of the Emperor descending upon this battlefield. And then we've got the fire support anchoring down the Blood Angels' left flank. I think that is going to be a really strong game for the Blood Angels. This central brick is going to be really difficult for the Guard to deal with. For the secondaries, the Guard have gone for Inflexible Command, Boots on the Ground and Psychic Interrogation. Normally I'd go for something like Special Orders, but as Johnny has no psychers, it's a good one for me to pick. And he went for No Prisoners, Relentless Assault and Assassinate. It is all gas, no brakes for the Blood Angels. If they just keep me pinned in my deployment zone and just smash, they should get a hell of a lot of points. And you know what? That's what Blood Angels like to do. So just covering the terrain here today, we've got these small ruins here which are just true line of sight blocking, and if you're on that little base there you will get a bit of light cover. These 2-story ones are going to be obscuring terrain. You will not be able to see through them unless you are on the L shape that runs underneath, or you're on this second line here. In the middle here we've got 2 more line of sight blocking bits of terrain, and we've got 1 there and 1 there. Just to be absolutely clear how this works, you cannot see past the corners or anything like that, but you can see down these fire lanes here. So if you're able to sort of drive up, you can shoot along there. How we've sort of laid the terrain out is each player's got a couple of big line of sight blocking bits in their deployment zone, and then they've got one smaller bit. We've got a big bit of line of sight blocking in the middle, and then we've got a couple of other bits of terrain covering the flank, so you'll be able to move your infantry up around there and be able to do some flanking manoeuvres, but obviously that's not going to be good for your vehicles. So that is the terrain. If anyone's wondering where we got this terrain from, it was supplied by Snot Goblin Gaming. They were very generous and sent us a set of this terrain to try out. It's actually really good modular stuff, and when you've got it all painted up, it looks really, really good. So thank you to Snot Goblin Gaming for providing the terrain for this battle, and you can check out the links down in the description below if you want to get your hands on your own. So now we need to decide who's going to go first, and just before we do that, it is an auspicious day today. It's the end of an era because this is going to be the last battle report that we film using my old Sony camcorder. Going forward from next week, we're going to have all new filming equipment, and it's going to be really, really good. Should be able to film in Ultra HD. Oh my god.
8K baby.
8K baby! Alright, but before we get to that, we must now look at this terrible 1080p dice roll to see who goes first. Alright, Mordian Glory going first. It's a 2, it's not looking good. I really want to go first, I did not want to get full on furied. Hey!
I never go first. I kind of wanted you to go first, but...
Did you? Fair enough.
Well,
alright.
we're full on fury.
Is that all your dice for just like killing me?
Yeah. That's it, you died!
That's quite a good roll that was.
Damn it, I should have saved it.
Alright, so we will be back
Blood Angels dice.
Yeah, so how we're going to do this, we're going to be back after the Blood Angels movement. We'll do some, if they've got any significant shooting, we'll do that on camera, but then we want to get to that charge phase. That's what the Blood Angels are interested in doing. So the Blood Angels have advanced aggressively across the line. Starting here, we've got the 2 units of Eradicators, and Johnny got a 6 to advance with both squads, which is really good because they've managed to get far enough so they can get around the corner of this little bit of terrain and therefore be able to see the marsh. So great work from those Eradicators.
Well done, Eradicators.
Yeah.
We'll see. I better roll a load of 2s.
Yeah. He's then moved his Redemptor forward. Now that is in range and line of sight of the Sentinels. These guys...
1 CP on him to make.
Oh, and he spent a CP on him so that everyone around him will be rerolling 1s to hit, and then because the Lieutenant's there, everyone will be rerolling 1s to wound as well, which is pretty good. Now, moving over to here, we've got the Sanguinary Gal, which have just sort of plopped forward into the middle of the board there, and then there's some characters that have moved up behind them. Tactical Marines, Tactical Marines, but the big thing of the day is that we've got the Forlorn Fury Marines, which have come forward here. So they've gone 12 inches for pre-game, 12 inches in their first turn, and now they're going to be in position to shoot some pistols at the mortars. And then what Johnny wants to do is just charge these first 3 squads. This squad here, this squad under here, and the command squad, because he wants to try and make my flexible command a little bit more difficult. So that is sort of Johnny's intention. Now we'll go straight into the shooting phase. So starting with the Eradicators, the first squad firing everything into the Demolisher, hitting on 4s because they advance, re-rolling 1, so he's got 1 re-roll in there, so he's got 2 hits. Now it's strength 8 versus toughness 8, so that's going to be the old force to wound.
Come on, get lucky now.
He's re-rolling that 1 because of the Lieutenant, so 1 wound. I need a Mordian Glory dice, so I will be, it's -4, I will be on what would normally be a 6 up, I'll be on a 5 up against Melter, I believe, because of Armour of Contempt, so there we go. Nope, Stone Cold 1, so it's D6 damage, 5 damage. Okay, so now he's got the next squad that's going in against it. Okay, no rerolls and 2 hits.
Not going well at the start.
It is an advance, it's not. It does happen. Then force to wound.
Come on now.
It's got 2 wounds. Okay, now I need 2 5-ups here. Yeah, it would be 6 up to 5-ups. Alright. No, neither one.
Come on, we need this turn.
Is it worth a CP? If I spend a CP here, it means even if Johnny gets a 6, he won't be able to kill it, so it is worth it. So I'll spend a CP and I pass it. So he will not be killing that Demolisher this turn, and it was worth it. But he has done 10 damage to it, which means it has 2 wounds left. That was a good call. To be fair, that's about right. I made 1 of 3 saves. That was about right. So yeah,
Got unlucky with not getting any rerolls.
Just 1 or 2 here and there. It's the nature of, this is why Guard don't get a lot of rerolls. We hit on 4s and get rerolls here and there, but it doesn't often come up.
Right, well, I'm doing this, I don't know if you want to film it. Or
so,
bolt pistols over there, actually.
No, the bolters and the mortars aren't a big deal. So what we're going to do is we'll do the Redemptor. He can shoot into the, what the Sentinels he was going to go into.
Yeah, so I'm going to do plasma into 1 and then everything else into another.
Okay.
I might shoot, and you know what, if it's stone bolts are in range, I'll start trimming the fat.
You're in range of this front squad, yeah.
So I'll start trimming the fat on those. With,
okay.
So I'm going to do plasma into him.
Okay.
And then
plasma into this
and
one
then Daka into
the squad.
The squad.
Okay. Let's go for a plasma bolt first. D6 shots from the plasma. One classic.
CP that, I think. I've only got one left, but.
Okay, CPing it into the 6. So hitting on 3s, 2 rolling 1s. Yeah. Okay, 2 misses. Yeah. And then wounding on 3s. Yeah, so this was 5. 3 wounds, AP. Okay, it's gonna go straight through. How much damage each?
Is it flat 3?
Yeah, I think so. Do I explode? I don't explode, so 1 sentinel's been taken out. First blood.
Storms, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, rerolling those 1s.
They were all hits.
Yeah, that's fine.
Was that a 1? I think I spin it over, right?
It was a hit already, yeah, that's fine. Wounding on 3s.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, so just move these out of the way. I've got, that's 6, was that 5 wounds I think it was?
6, I'm sure. How many dice you picked up,
Matt? I can't tell, to be honest. I'll do 6 anyway, I don't care. So 4 guys can die. There we go.
6 there, so maybe
yeah, exactly. 4, 5, 6. I think you didn't drop any on the wound, so it's alright. So 4 guardsmen are going to die there. Alright, so that is the significant blood angel shooting.
I've got more Daka, but...
Oh, that going into the squad, is it? Oh, okay, keep going then. And we'll do the rest of Redemptor's shooting off camera, but it's probably going to be going into these guards, and we'll see how many are left after the shooting has been done. So after the shooting had finished, the Redemptor managed to pick up this little squad here with his spare firepower. The Marines over here were not quite in range over here to get their shots off, and the Blood Angel bolt pistols here did quite well and managed to pick up a base and a half from the mortars, so that's pretty good. So overall, that is the shooting. We're going to go into the charge phase now. Now we have the charge of the Death Company. They're going to be in. It's not a big charge, but they're going to be going able
to get against the wall.
Yeah, they are going to be able to get into those 3 units they want to. So we'll move them in, and then we'll chop up some guardsmen. So these Blood Angel Death Company are going to be splitting their attacks as follows. 4 will be going into this squad over here. 3 and the Thunderhammer will be going into the squad underneath here, and then the Power Sword will be going into the command squad, because 5-inch vertical engagement range, guys. So that is the allocation of attacks. Johnny will be getting his dice together now. Now the chainsaw. This is the first 4 guys. They get 6 attacks each, 2 base, 1 for charging, 1 for a chainsword, 1 for shock assault, and 1 because Johnny spent 2 CP in his command phase, so they count as being in every doctrine, which means they, because they're Blood Angels, get an extra attack for being in the assault doctrine. So there we go.
Come on, don't mess this up, guys.
So after the wounds had been rolled, just 1 failed. It's AP2 thanks to the assault doctrine. That is the whole squad killed. Now let's see what happens to the second squad. So here we have going into the second squad, we've got the 3 chasers and the Thunderhammer. And we'll pick those hits out. And now we've got the wound rolls. So the Power Sword only got 2 hits. Johnny rolled 3 2s, and now we've got to roll to kill, and it only gets 1 kill. All right, that Power Sword being a little bit unlucky there. Now let's see if those Command Squad guys can do anything back. Command Squad's going to try and hit those guys back. 3 hits, 1 wound. Do we manage to kill or wound a Death Company? We do. Does he feel it though? He does feel it. Oh, a bayonet makes it through the eye socket, but he's like, oh.
By something and bayonet.
Yes, by something and bayonet. Or by veteran and bayonet in this case.
Okay.
So that is the end of the Blood Angels' first turn. We'll see what points they're at, and then we'll be back with the Guard turn 1. So by the end of the Blood Angels' first turn, they got 2 points for holding the centre, they got 2 points for no prisoners, and they've got 4 points for relentless assault. Thanks to that Death Company consolidate, they managed to get into the Guard deployment zone, which means they've got more units in my deployment zone than I have in theirs, and that's 4 points. Big one for the Blood Angels. Let's see what the Guard can do in their turn 1. So end of the Guard movement phase. First platoon pushed up this flank. I think we're going to be doing some moving on to that objective. And then we have reformed a big screen here. Now we've got about 2 or 3 layers of infantry covering these tanks, because we know that those Sanguinary Guard are coming in, and we know there's a really good chance we're not going to be able to even touch them this turn. We've also managed to get a couple of screening units in front of these tanks here, although the Sand Guard may want to come for them. The mortars have fallen back. I think basically the Sanguinary guy could choose to go after 2 vehicles, and they've kind of got to choose which 2 do they want to go after. If they try and split too much, my hoping is that you won't have enough punch to get through everything in one go. So we'll see what happens. So the mortars have all fallen back. Now we're into the psychic phase. And I don't normally have a psychic phase, but I've got one today. And so I'm going to straight away spend 1 CP on Psychic Quiet, which means that my Primera Psychic and the Weird Veins will have +2 to cast each, which is pretty nice. Now we're going to start with the Primera Psychic, and he's going to go... No, sorry, we're going to start with the Inquisitor. And he's going to go for a smite into the Death Company. And he gets it off on a 7, so that is D3 wounds. And it's just the 1 wound, so there is a 1 wound Death Company there. So, do you want me to... I'll tell you what, I'll do all the Psychic, because as everything's going to them, then you can just do all your saves in one go. We'll do Castigation. That goes off. See if we can do some Leadership shenanigans. I don't beat Leadership, so you don't take any mortal wounds from that. And then we've got a... should we do a smite from the Weird Veins first? No, they wouldn't be able to see anything. So smite from the Primera Psyker goes off. Number of mortal wounds, the big 3, so that's 4 in total. And then Psychic Maelstrom goes off, and it does 1 mortal wound, 2 mortal wounds, 3 mortal wounds, 4 mortal wounds, and I need a 6 to get that last one. No, so it does 4 more. So you've taken a total of 8 mortal wounds. 1 from the first smite, 3 from the second smite, and then 4 from Psychic Maelstrom. So not bad little psychic battery there. We'll let Johnny get his dice together. It's just here, it's these 2 guys going straight into this Death Company squad. So it's going to be 8 mortal wounds. I think you get your 6. So Johnny rolled his Feel No Pains from his Death Company. He passed 1 of them, so he has taken... he's taken 7 mortal wounds there, which means because one of the guys was already on a wound, he has lost 4 Death Company. Not bad from the Psychic Battery. Good little debut of that tactic. But now let's go into the guard shooting phase. Now for orders, I'm going to do some move on these squads to try and get as many as possible onto the objective. This tank, I spent a CP on Relentless for it, and he's going to go for Hammer... pound them into dust, so that he gets to reroll the random shots on his Demarcher Cannon. Same for this chap. And then over here we're going to have all of these guys that had to fall back here, which is these mortars. They're going to get back in the fight from the platoon commander, and then Sign Wolf here is going to do first rank fire, second rank fire. That's basically going to affect all of these squads along here because he's got his 2 orders to be able to do that. I should also say I'm going to try and bring back one of my guys here with the Medipack. I don't, unfortunately, so the Medipack has not yet proved its usefulness, but that is the orders we're going to do. We'll get some dice together and we'll see what shots we can do. So this Demarche tank is just in range of these Eradicators, so we'll do that one first. It gets 2d6 re-rolling the number of shots. We'll keep that, so we'll get those dice together and we'll see how many hits and wounds we get. So we've got 9 shots coming in here, hitting on 3s. No re-rolls because I moved. 2 Hammer of the Emperors and 2 misses. So now we'll roll these. Now I believe I will wound you on 2s because you're toughness 5 and I'm strength 10. So that will be another... they all wounds, that's going to be a total of 7 wounds on the Eradicators. Now this will be AP 3, but because I'm percentage AP 2, so it'll be on 5. Okay, so here's the saves coming in here. Now Johnny has made 1 of those. Now that means I get 5D. There should be 1 more dice in there, dude. Oh, did I miss it? What was it? Oh, it's a fail. Okay, so we've got 6 fails. So the first one kills a guy, second one kills a guy, and the last 4, doesn't matter what I roll, is going to kill the remaining guy. So that is the first squad of Eradicators dealt with. Now we've got the injured Lemur's Tank Commander, but because of Relentless, we will be acting on our top profile for this turn. It's kind of like a false durability, that, because obviously you're shooting well, but you still only got 2 wounds, so you're pretty likely to die. So number of shots, I'll reroll the 4 with Pound Them Into Dust. That becomes 8, so we'll get those dice together in just a moment. So hitting on 3s. Oh, that's 3 misses there. 1 Hammer of the Emperor, wounding on 2s. That is 4 more wounds. So that's a total of 5 wounds.
Come on now, just give me some saves.
That's pretty good, saves 2 of them. So So I'll get 3 through. First one doesn't kill one, second one will kill one, and the third one kills one. So you lose 2 from that squad. But there is still one left. So we're going to do this tank commander on camera, and then we'll do everything else off camera just to keep things nice and fast paced. So he's going to put everything into these Death Company. He has stayed still. He will be doing pound them into dust for his order. So let's see how many shots he gets. Double 1. Good job, I did pound them into dust. Let's see what he gets with the reroll. Oh, he only gets 5 shots. Not very good. So let's see. Let's get those dice together and do some shots. Here are the shots hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Reroll the 1. Okay, so he's hit with everything. That's 1 Hammer of the Emperor. Now wounding on 2s. No rerolls here. So I do drop 1. Now these would normally be AP 2, but because of Weapon Expert, I am AP 3. Now Johnny is in cover, and with Armor Contempt means he's going to knock 2 of those pips off, which means he's going to be on a 4+ save against this.
Come on.
Okay. So that's going to be 3 that go through at flat damage 3. So you need to roll these one at a time. You're looking for a couple of double 6s here where you can. Not yet. That's 1 dead. 2 dead. And the last one, can he get a double 6 here? No. So that's going to be 3 Death Company that have been dealt with. Alright, we will see if the Heavy Bolter can finish him off. 3 hits. 3 wounds. Now you will be on just straight up 2-up saves because of Armor Contempt and the fact that you're in cover. He's alright. And we've got the, because I think Weapon Expert only affects my turret weapon. Heavy Stubber, 3 hits. Can the Stubber do it? No, no wounds. So we'll do the rest of the shooting off camera and we'll be back in just a moment. So we did manage to clear those Death Company. It came down to the last heavy bolt shot. Every las gun, bolt, plasma gun and plasma pistol went into it, but we finally got him. And on an amusing note, this plasma gun here killed himself, and he very killed himself. Double 1 on the overcharged plasma. So he is just a bit of dust on the wind now. Yeah. Moving over here, we were able to use the Demolisher cannons and one of the Sentinel las cannons to clear off the Eradicators. Some spare firepower from these squads did help as well. And then we've moved and spent a CP to an extra order because you can't proc move. And I managed to get 2 squads onto this objective, and I'm in 3 table quarters as well. So that is the end of the guard turn.
We're all going for it.
Not bad. I said to Johnny I wanted to clear the flanks. I've cleared the flanks, but now the pain train is incoming. Let's see what the Angels do there, turn 2. So the Blood Angels have moved forward aggressively. The Redemptor and the Lieutenant, the dynamic duo coming here, hoping to clear this objective. We've also got the inevitable Sanguinary Guard, big Billy Bollocks push coming in here. And Johnny is going to be trying to clear some infantry and charge up and take out my firepower. Even if he can't kill it, he's hoping he'll be able to tie it up for multiple turns. And then we've had these tactical marines who have just stayed still because they realise they can get some bolts discipline. That rule still exists. And then we've got these guys who have moved onto the objective here. Oh yes, the old bolts discipline. So there is no Blood Angel Psychic phase, a bit of a novelty that I have the Psychic and Jonathan doesn't. And now, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into the shooting phase.
Is it too late to say sorry in the first gun?
So we're gonna, so now the shooting phase should be fairly quick. We're going to do the big stuff on camera, and then we're going to do the little stuff off camera. We'll just see how much Johnny's cleared once the dust has settled. So Sanguinary Guard have done their job clearing out the infantry here. There is a 1 wound heavy bolter left here, and there is a 3-man squad at the front here. But apart from that, they have done a really good job of clearing. So I think we're going to get some infantry cleared and then some tanks tied up over here. They've also cleared out the command squad here. I thought I'd hidden them well, but I'd misjudged it, which means he will be able to probably dive over here and tie this tank up as well. So now the really big question is, can he basically take all tanks out of action, because he needs to try and kill this one. So the Redemptor is going to try and kill it, and that's what we're rolling on camera now. So 3 plasma shots. Hitting on the 3s. Okay. Ruining on the 4s. No.
Lieutenant.
Yes. No, still no. The tank will live. And now he's going to be doing his little stuff off camera. Don't worry about Stormbolter, Johnny. Roll that Onslaught Gatling Cannon into the Scout Sentinel, because that's what you said you were going to do. I will have 1 tank in this fight, but 1 tank. My kingdom for a tank.
That's looking good.
That's looking pretty legit.
Can't reroll because I've not got the CP.
No CP for thee.
Oh, come on, finger. No.
There's innuendo in there, isn't there?
One wound, isn't there? 1 wound.
2 wounds. It's your strength 5 and toughness is 5.
Oh, so it's 3 wounds.
It's 3 wounds. God,
and a reroll of a 1.
Oh my god, it's only going. No, it's not
It's
going.
3
Okay, it's 3 wounds. 1. AP 1. Okay, so a wound, yeah. There we go. So we'll do.
Missiles. D3.
Okay, got the missiles. 2 missiles. Okay, we're only on
strength 7. 5. So
5. You go for the tank?
Yes.
Okay, let's go for the tank. It's got a hit. He needs a 5 to wound. He has not wounded it.
Never mind.
My armour is proof against you.
I can't believe it. You always do this, but wow.
I always get 1. You know what I mean? I get the 1. You're taking 3, 4 times out of action, man.
We hope.
Okay,
well, we'll see.
That is the end of the shooting phase.
I've got other bits, but
that's the end of the big bits in the shooting phase. We'll do some other little bits off camera, and then we will be back with the most important phase of, I reckon, the entire game. The Blood Angels turn to charge phase. Okay, we're into the Blood Angel charge phase now. Johnny, take us through how the death is going to be dealt.
So these guys are going for officer and tank. This Sand guys.
And the squad? If you want to tag the tank, you might have to, otherwise you might not be able to stay with an inch away.
In that case, yes, of course. Like anyone I have to hit to get there.
That's fair enough.
Then the captain is going to just slot himself in there because he can fit.
Okay, because Johnny hasn't updated his base into a 32mm one yet. That's the base he came with. That's the base he came with.
That's how I bought him.
That's how I bought him. Alright, carry on.
And then this squad are going to go for an assassination. I doubt I can fit in there. So they're going to hit this squad.
Okay.
And start chopping, and then, you know, we'll see where we go.
Okay, so which one do you want to roll first?
The priest. I don't think I could fit him in there.
Not as well, I don't think.
So he's going to just probably charge this guy, just to make sure.
So who are you doing first?
I will go... Has he got a power sword?
He does.
I will not do that. I will probably charge this infantry squad.
Just get him further forward.
We'll see how it's going. Do you know what I mean?
So what's going first?
These guys, they need 6. We've got a reroll.
Okay. They don't need it. Okay.
So they will just be in here.
Okay, so I was wondering, they need 6 because they are 8 inches away, but +1 for being Blood Angels. By the way, Johnny has put one of these squads into Assault Doctrine with his priest, and he's put the other one into every doctrine with his CP, just so people understand where all this is coming from.
So we've got a lot of attacks, a lot of everything.
Okay, so next squad.
Okay, so then next squad here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it's a 5.
Okay, roll.
Roll.
That'll be enough. Let's not worry about it.
So they're going to be in here.
Yeah, captain.
I believe it's a 7 I need. He's got a reroll.
Okay. It's got a reroll.
And it's in.
He's going to be a 6 and whatever the hell that was.
No, sorry, it's a 4.
And then the priest.
He's going to go for... So the captain's in there. They're in there.
You did say he was going over here, man.
He's going over here. He's basically wanting to be within 6 of these guys when they clustered there. So I think... Oh, it doesn't matter. He's done his job. He's done his job.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So he'll just go for this infantry squad.
Okay.
And he's in.
I didn't really see what it was, but that's cool.
It's enough. Okay, so that's what we wanted.
So what we'll do...
And then I think I might do it's a bit risky, but we'll go the left hand into here.
Okay.
1 versus 10, it's in.
Okay, that's it. So we'll get all those charges done. We will there's a boatload of attacks here.
There's a lot of maths to do.
A lot of maths here. We're going to let Johnny do all his chopping, and we'll see if there's any guard left alive by the end of the Blood Angel assault phase. So, pretty predictably, the Sanguinary Guard came in here, cleared out the remaining infantry, and they picked up both those characters. So, the Psychic Bomb is dead. Long live the Psychic Bomb.
It did its job.
He did manage to clear out the Death Company, though.
Pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad. And then the Captain came in here and actually flubbed it against the tank and only did 3 wounds to it. But they have tied up the tank and the mortars over here. The Sanguinary Guard over here came in and killed that tank, and there was a So dead. There's a little bit of damage from some other squads, but the one Sanguinary Guard that's allocated to kill Commander Simon failed. He actually made a couple of invulnerable saves there, which is pretty nice. And then over here, the lieutenant.
Yeah, there was 3 wounds on him on a 5 up, so I was like, drops a good one.
And then I just passed over.
You got 2 6s and 1.
And then over here, the lieutenant charged in, but clearly he's not used to trying to fight through walls because he only killed like 1 or 2 guys, and then in return,
I killed 3, and you did 3 wounds
in return. So nice. So overall, it's a good turn for Blood Angels. This is kind of what we expect to do. This tank living is a big deal, though. It's a massive deal.
I think if I'd taken him out with the Redemptor, it would have been
game over.
Yeah, in the bag. Not game over, but in the bag.
But now,
close enough.
Yeah, but now
there's a chance.
Now there's a chance.
Damn good chance as well.
So we're going to have to see. I've done all my various attacks back and not done anything. So we will have to see what happens in Guard turn 2. So Imperial Guard movement phase. We have got the infantry squads moving around here. These guys have fallen back, but now they can see that lieutenant. Hopefully going to be able to get back in the fight and then kill him. Over here, we've got the 3 squads at the front here. 1, 2, and Signwolf have fallen back and performed a protective cluster on the objective. Now, Johnny can, for 1 CP, do a big old Sanguinary Guard heroic intervention, but I'm hoping I'm going to kill them. We've gained CP and we've spent CP straight away to make this guy relentless. We have attempted to do our best to screen him out here as well. Now over here we have fallen back with this tank and one of the mortar squads over here. The other 2 have stayed still, which means that this basilisk has moved, but we will be able to hopefully do some damage to the Sanguinary Guard here between the mortars and everything. And last but not least, these guys have moved and advanced onto the objective, so that I've denied Johnny from getting that one, which means at the beginning of his turn he'll get 8 points of primary, he won't get 12 points, which is pretty big. So that is the Guard movement phase. We have a psychic phase. I'm going to attempt to psychically interrogate the Sanguinary Priest, and because I am a squad of 3 word veins, I get +1 to do this. So on a 3+, I will get 3 VP. I get a big flat fucking 1. I can't. Oh, can I re-roll that? I could do, but I don't want to. I'm going to leave that there. So unfortunately, I don't get my 3 CP for psychic interrogation. So we will be back in the Guard shooting phase. Now we're going to go for this tank commander. Now he has stayed still this turn. He is going to do the order pound them into dust. And that means that he will be able to re-roll the random shots on his Martial cannon, but he does get a minimum of 3 shots each time as well, because of the fact that there's more than 5 in that Sanguinary Guard squad. So let's see how many shots we get. I might as well re-roll both. I mean, I would anyway. And that's much better, much better. So it doesn't count. Okay, yeah, no, it does though. So we've got 10 dice here, hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s. So we've got 2 hammer of the Emperors, 1 miss, and then we've got, majiggers, we have got 2 to wound, 1 fail, so it's this many.
A lot of wounds.
It's this many 4-ups because of armed contempt and those 2 over there, my good man. 4-ups on the Sangar.
I need just 1, if I get 1 burst of good luck.
This is where you need it.
This is where I need it. It's looking good. Fail 3.
Fail 3, okay.
Because there's 1 4.
There's one that's,
yeah. A little bit of the moss.
Okay, so the
frame escaping.
First one kills a guy, second one kills a guy, third one kills a guy. So I do get 3 of them, which is nice. I'll then do the heavy Flammenwerfer, get 6 hits on it, and I do manage to get 5 wounds with it. So
nice.
This is 5 2-ups. Oh, do pop 1. Okay.
Oh. Thunder Pain from Priest?
I don't know how it works for you.
I'll have to double check.
Okay, we'll just double check. He has just get the Thunder Pain, so no. And then 3.
Double 6.
Nope. And then 2 again. This is the Martial cannon we're sorting out here, guys. Nope. And then the Flamer.
1 6.
No. So I did get 4. Fair enough. It was cool that we did check that, but unfortunately it didn't come in this time. So I'm going to spend my last 2 CP for overlapping fields of fire on that squad. It means everyone else is going to get a +1 to hit against them. That is pretty good. Sometimes the OG Cajun stratagems come in handy. Right, we'll do all of the Dakar and we'll see how many are left standing after we've shot them with a full platoon. So after the dust has settled, all of those Sanguinary Guard have been killed. Johnny made a lot of 4+ saves versus like Plasma and Basilisk and stuff like that, but he didn't make very many 2-up saves. It was kind of crazy.
1, so it just balanced out.
I don't think he made any Northeastern when it mattered either, so it did balance out.
Yeah, I think the only time I got a 6 was when it was on like 3 wounds.
Yeah, exactly. So that squad has died, which is pretty good. And then this squad over here has taken 3.5 casualties as well, just from like the mortars really piled it onto them. Really well. But then Johnny has spent his 1 CP. It's such an insane strategy. 1 CP to heroic intervene 6 inches. You just can't get away from it, basically. So he has gone in there and he has put everything into that tank. He wants to try and kill it. Side note, I did manage to kill the lieutenant there, so he is dead. That was his wound dice. And I did also put 3 wounds onto the Redemptor with lasguns, amazingly, from this squad. The shooting over the wall.
All my work was lasguns, everything else.
All my work was lasguns. It just goes.
And this guy.
Oh yeah, and this guy. So that is the end of the Guard turn. we'll just see if the Sanguinary Guard can kill this tank. So the Sanguinary Guard rather predictably butchered that tank, and then they have consolidated this way. But it is now going into the Blood Angels turn 3. So they did that in my turn, which is pretty brutal. But let's see what the Blood Angels can do in their turn 3. Little reverse here, guys. I did realise I wanted to charge this Redemptor as well to try and tie him up. We've done that now, and in the combat my power sword found a chink in the armour, and in return he did the squishy spinny thing with his fist and killed 2 of the guardsmen. So that is it for the Imperial Guard turn 3. Now we're going into Blood Angels turn. Imperial Guard turn 2, now we're going to Blood Angels turn 3. In the Blood Angel movement phase, they moved these tactical marines over here, looking to have a Barney with the infantry squad. Redemptor remained tied up, and then over here, the priest decided to jump up here, and then he's going to do a Batman thing onto Commander Simewolf here. And then over here, the Sanguinary Guard continued their rampage down the left flank.
Very tempted to go over here, but
he was very tempted to go for this tank commander, but there's a.
I want to protect my objectives. And get those mortars.
Exactly. So this platoon did a good job. I'm pretty happy that the central platoon saw off one of the central threats. So far,
these are just scattered cinematically, by the way. Don't worry, people. They're up here.
Oh yeah, no, that's not a problem. So in terms of how the game's going so far, going to the Blood Angels turn 3, the Guard, we've dealt with the Death Company. We've dealt with more than half of the Sanguinary Guard. So we're killing stuff, but we're really struggling on points. So I feel like how this game might go is we might end up picking up the remainder of the killing stuff, but then Johnny ends up pulling ahead on points. That's my prediction. Let's see if I am a Chaos Worshipper and I can see the future.
Well, no, that's true. Well, no, you worship the 6-armed Emperor.
I worship the 6-armed Emperor, of course. There we go. 4 arms isn't enough. He has to have 6. Yeah. Right, there we go.
It's the 4-armed Emperor.
It's the 4-armed Emperor, yeah.
Well, you know.
4, 6,
4 and 2 legs.
I mean, after you get above 2, it's heresy.
I mean, what even are these appendages?
Yeah, exactly.
Arms, legs, who knows?
Can't go with the 3-armed Emperor because he might just be packing heat, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you've got to have
you're an offshoot cult, the 3-armed
Emperor. Yeah, exactly. So we'll be back with the Blood Angel. I think the shooting's going to be fairly simple, so we'll do that off camera.
Kill mortars with shooting.
Kill more for shooting and then see if we can chop that. So we'll see what happens once the dust has settled.
Shoot here, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, a little bit. So we'll be back once the old dust has settled. So ended the shooting phase. The Redemptor killed most of the squad in shooting, but he didn't quite get his plasma out, so he wasn't able to use it on the tank to finish it off. We had some bolter rounds coming in here, finishing off these guys. And then over here, the Sanguinary Guard blasted into the mortars and was able to kill one of the squads. Now going into the charge phase, we're going to have these guys scrap over here. Do you want to see what that is? Yep, they get in. We've got these guys that need a 7 into here. More than happy. And then the Sanguinary Guard are going to be in. They're going to be in. They're going
for the dice goes.
You're going for the
captain.
Yeah. And that's what's going into the Basilisk.
Going for these 2, by the way.
Okay, Sanguinary Guard going for the 3-man squad and the Basilisk, and they made that in. So we'll move them in, we'll do the chopping, and we'll see where we end up after the end of the Blood Angels turn 3. So rather predictably, the Sanguinary Guard picked up the Basilisk with help from the captain, and they picked up the mortar squad. This left flank has almost been cleared. Just the lieutenant with his couple of mortar buddies. We'll have to see if they can hold out. Over here, the couple of remaining guardsmen were beaten to death. People poo-poo tactical marines, but 5 marines in combat with the Blood Angels charging still does a lot of attacks.
They bolted, then they charged.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
With change.
They always do that. And then over here, these guys cleared out the Dreadnought, and these 2 were left from the shooting, so there we go. And the fight over here, the Sanguinary Priest actually picked up nearly all of this squad, but this guy was able to stay back and actually do a wound to him, which is pretty cool. Not bad. Good old Stormtrooper training. That old Stormtrooper training coming in handy, you know, it's pretty cool. He's not actually Stormtrooper, just the model. So there we go. That is the end of Blood Angel turn 3. It's looking pretty ropey.
Got what I wanted, not gonna lie.
Got what he wanted. Now the Guard are only going to get...
Can I just say, I've had these guys here, because I was like, oh, maybe I want to go for this objective if you clear me here. Maybe, you know, you'll counter down on you some troops, or maybe... And I reinforced over there and had 5 guys wedged in here, so they just ran out 6, shot, charged, and I was like, yes, surprise!
So you're not holding that objective now?
No, I am, because my 3 guys that were sat in the middle, in between these 3 objectives, they ran and advanced on.
Yeah, no, I haven't killed any tactical marines, so there's still 3 tactical squads. Okay, so yeah, just for viewers that can't see, there's 5 tactical marines behind that building, behind the ghetto. Alright, so there we go. So we'll be back with, we'll probably do a bit of summary Guard turn, because we've not got that much left here. We'll see if we can kill that Redemptor, clear this flank, and see if we can hold on turn 4, turn 5. So guard movement was pretty easy. We just moved this squad around here to get me some more boots on the ground points for the future. And then we basically stayed still here because we want to get maximum firepower. Really need to clear out as much as possible. Now, Johnny was basically saying to me, I must have denied your inflexible command by now. I'm like, nope, because all of this guy's within range of this command squad. And then all of these guys are within 24 inches of him. So yeah, absolutely no problem whatsoever. And he's also within 24 inches of here. So no problem whatsoever with that inflexible command. And it just goes to show 3 command squads is more than enough to do it. You don't necessarily need to start taking like Tempesta command squads and all this kind of stuff. 3 command squads, 3 officers, like, easy to do.
Board, I know like smaller boards old news now, but
makes a big difference.
It really, like, I think people even now are like 24 inches is like a third of the length of the board, but it's and do you know what I mean? If you've got one in the middle, you're like, oh, I've got basically everything.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna do psychic phase. We're just try and mentally interrogate this bozo.
No,
I do get it. Hooray! 3 points.
Secrets.
I know your secrets.
I really like Sanguinius.
I really like Sanguinius. That is what we've learned from him. So that is 3 points. So at least I didn't get a whitewash on that secondary. Now, shooting's been pretty easy. I'm going to put this guy into here. I've got 2 CP. It's time for Hail of Fire. So this guy's actually going to go for Pound Them into Dust, and I'm going to spend my CP that I gained so that he has top profile, because I've only got 2 CP.
You wanted to do Hail of Fire.
I wanted to do Hail of Fire, but I couldn't do because I didn't have 3 CP. So number of shots from the cannon. Ooh, good job I got rerolls with Pound Them into Dust. Yeah! Hail of Fire! Sort of, baby! So there we go. I did manage to get the 12 shots that I wanted. And then we get to shoot or hit on 3s rerolling 1s. So we've got a couple there. A couple of rerolls. There we go. So we've got 2 Hand of the Emperor, 2 rerolls, and then wounding on 3s. And that is going to be a total of 8 wounds. And he is going to be on a 5-up save against this.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4 go through. 4d6 damage. Each one of these getting reduced by 1 for being a dreadnought. So the first one becomes 2 damage. Second one becomes 4 damage.
6.
Third one becomes 3 damage, and I think that gets him. 9 plus 4 is 13. And the last one does another 3. So he's definitely not got 16 wounds. So he is dead. Good old Demolisher Cannon, still rocking it. And does he explode? We haven't had an explosion in a while. At the end of my shooting, I'm just going to do the rest of it off camera. This platoon is going to try and pick up these Tactical Marines and the Sanguinary Priest. And that'll be the end of my turn 3. So we'll see where we're at the end of the turn. So end of guard turn 3, and we were able to kill the Redemptor, kill 2.5 of those Tactical Marines, and we were able to pick up the Sanguinary Priest. So we've cleared our zone, but looking at the points, I don't think there's any way the guard can get back in this. I mean, Johnny have sort of talked this through. So if we look at the points where they're at right now, the Blood Angels are currently on 1622 primary to the guard's 12 primary. The Blood Angels are going to get 12 points at the beginning of their turn, plus they're then also going to get the 2 points less. The Blood Angels are going to max out primary their turn 4. They've already maxed out Assassinate, and they're going to max out Relentless Assault at the end of their turn 4.
And even those on
no prisoners, I think you'll get about 10. It's got to be 10 points for it. So I say the Blood Angels are probably going to end at about 95 points.
If not a hair more.
If not
not quite 100.
Let's roughly say 95.
Pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, pretty pleased. The guard are on 12 points now. Now, even assuming, let's assume, be very generous, that I get my 4 points, my turn 4, and then I did go second, but I think realistically I'll probably be able to get another 8 or 12 points. So I think the guard are going to end on about 24 primary at best. And then what we'll find is that I can probably max out Inflexible Command, and I can probably max out Boots, but I'm really going to struggle to get Psychic Interrogation.
And I just, in terms of, you've got this guy left on 2 wounds, but these guys can hide behind there, these guys can hide behind there, I've got guys on there, these guys don't even care because I can kill the mortars.
Exactly. So if we sort of just go through this, guys, basically, even if I max out my primary, okay, it's not going to happen. I'm too far behind. Even if I get 12 and 12, I'm too far behind, all right? Max my Cadet was like 36, so I still lose on primary there. I'm not going to be able to max out this one. So even if I then trundle around my tank, blowing up these Marines, trying to get these guys back, take that middle objective, start getting some tertiary points, it's not enough. I literally can't get back into the game.
I mean, let's see what you've got. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I've got a lot of infantry left on the board as well. Yeah, exactly. But what I would say let's assume, even being really generous, like Johnny brings these guys over here, he clears some of my infantry, and then I clear them back. That's being very generous. So I've only got one tank commander left. Even if I do that, we've come across this age-old problem that I've said with Nephilim now, which is armies can lose 95% of their army and score 95 points. And I think that's realistically how this game would end. I'd lose 95% of my army and only get like 60 or 70 points, and you'd lose 95% of your army and get about 95, maybe even more points. So I think the Guard have done all right. We've managed to hold this here. Maybe we could have moved some people over here. But the problem is, guys, the moment I start thinning this screen out, them Sanguinary Guard, they're going to come flying in. I need at least 2 layers.
That they can kill. That's 30 attacks. Okay? AP -4 or 3. Wounded on 2s. Hitting on 2s with rerolling 1s.
Exactly.
Okay? They're going to do 2 squads of Guard.
Yeah. If I move one squad out of the way, that means...
Get one turn shooting with your tank, maybe you'll kill them, captain kills the tank.
Yeah, exactly.
These guys have already shot the mortars.
I mean, Johnny could literally, at this point, could actually not engage me. In fact, if
fly away.
Exactly. And that would actually be the smart move on Johnny's point, where it's
and on a lore level, I did come into there's no prisoners on this one, we're just going to go in there, we're going to kill everyone, get out, Blood Angels home.
Exactly. So it's a really, I think what we've seen there is a really sort of classic Blood Angel sort of Guard situation where the Blood Angels fly in there, they've got to do as much damage as possible, and if they get that turn 1 charge off, that turn 2 charge off, then they're doing great. If they don't get those charges off, they fall apart. Now, on a deployment like this, it's obviously easy for them to do that. So yeah, for me, I think it's another great example of how I actually don't think 120 infantry was enough screening here.
No, you could have done with a little more.
I could have done with a little more.
I was able to multiple occasions shoot holes through the screens and then charge in.
Yeah, so this is what
with 9-man squads as well. Not like, do you know what I mean?
And there's been some debate in
the thing is, I couldn't attack here because you had essentially 3 layers.
Yeah.
So I knew I couldn't do that.
But you could get me over there.
Here, because you only had 2 layers, it was very achievable.
I think there's been some debate in the Mordian Glory Discord about it. Do you really need 100 guardsmen? And look, I'm telling you, every single game I go into, if I have less than 100 guardsmen, I just don't have a chance of victory. At least here, if I got turn 1...
If you swing all the way the other way and you have 0 guardsmen and all tanks... That's a different story.
That's a different story, yeah, of course. But yeah, definitely, absolutely.
If you're taking some guardsmen, you've got to take.
Yeah. So I think if we were to talk this out, we'd end up with 95 for the Blood Angels. I think the Guard would end on, let's say, about 24, 34 with painting, and then let's say we get
Come to that.
Then let's say we get to 33. So I think the Guard are going to end on about 77 points. Pretty respectable sort of score that they can get there. But again, there's just
no way.
There's just no way the Guard can get back into this.
I mean, if you just take a turnaround attack,
and box into a corner, basically.
There's no way you can come out. You haven't got the resources to do it.
Yeah, and this is one of the things. Guard really need that ability to be able to push out and be a bit more durable. So, anyway, we'll see. This is why I love my Armoured Guard so much. It'd be
the screen, but not the push.
Yeah, I think it'd be a totally different game if I had my Armoured. Yeah, you could tie some of my tanks up, but then it's like, okay, you can't tie all the tanks up, and then I start coming around over here with the armour push. My full 10 tankers, I think you don't want to face that again, do you?
I'll face whatever, I don't mind.
I'm only joking, man. But yeah, there we go. So that's the end of the game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and as always, we'll see you guys next time.